Hello, and thank you for joining our Literacy Readiness for Preschoolers workshop. Researchers have identified that the first 8 years of your child's life are critical to their development for literacy. The information that we'll cover tonight will help instruct you as parents on practices that you can use to build a strong foundation for their literacy and get them ready to start reading in kindergarten. Before we get started, I just want to thank everyone for attending the workshop and supporting your child's literacy readiness as they get ready to start kindergarten. You're making a tremendous investment in your child's future. Before we get started, let's review what is in the handout packet that you should have received when you came into the workshop. You should have a literacy readiness evaluation that we'll be completing during the workshop, handouts for small group discussion, handouts of key skills and techniques that we'll be talking about during the workshop, and a list of resources that you can use beyond the workshop tonight. We're going to start by completing a readiness assessment for your child. This is a very quick assessment to do, and what it's going to do is help provide a baseline for where your child currently is in their literacy readiness. And at the end of the workshop, we're going to complete the assessment and come up with some strategies for how you can incorporate what you've learned tonight at home to help your child. The workshop facilitator will now pause the video so that you can take about 5 minutes to complete the assessment for your child. Now that you've completed the readiness assessment, let's talk about what you will gain by completing this workshop tonight. You're going to identify the readiness concepts and skills that a child should be able to demonstrate before starting kindergarten. You'll be able to at least 3 simple fun strategies that you'll be able to do at home with your child to encourage their literacy skills. You'll be able to understand and utilize the echoing technique with your child, explain how computers can be used to help children learn to read and write, and explain how to incorporate the print reference methodology into reading time. To achieve those objectives tonight, we're going to be talking about reading concepts and simple strategies that you can use at home, the echoing technique that you can use while you're reading to your child each day, how you can use your home computer to help your child practice and reinforce their writing skills, and how you can use some simple questioning and cueing techniques when you're reading to your child, which is called the print reference methodology, to improve their reading comprehension. Let's talk about the structure of the workshop. As stated, there's going to be 4 key areas of literacy readiness that we're going to talk about throughout the workshop. To help you understand each of these key areas, there's going to be a brief video and informational clip on each of the 4 areas. It's going to give you a high-level explanation of the key area and some practical strategies that you can implement at home with your child. Following the overview segment, you're going to be paired up into small groups to work with other parents to answer some questions that are included in your handout packet. We're going to start by talking about readiness concepts and simple things that you can do at home to help get your child ready. First, sounds. When you're talking with your child, talk about words that rhyme and words that begin with the same sound. Print awareness. When you're reading to your child, explain to them that we read from left to right. I often use my finger and point out that I'm reading from left to right, and that also that you're reading from top to bottom. Letters, as your child becomes more familiar with letters of the alphabet, that just helps them become more aware of readiness concepts. Vocabulary and oral language, the more that you talk to your child and interact with them, the more that's going to help build their vocabulary. Reading together is one of the best things that you can do to get your child ready for reading, and research has shown that 20 minutes per day is optimal. And also writing, children naturally love putting crayon to paper, so encourage this by helping them write their name, mom, dad, and things that are meaningful to them. We're now going to pause the video so that you can work in your small groups to discuss the key areas that were just described. You'll also be answering the corresponding questions from your packet. You'll have 10 minutes to complete this activity. The next technique we're going to talk about is the echoing technique. Echoing reading is a reading strategy to help children develop expressive, fluent reading. And this is a very simple thing to do with your child. It's accomplished by you reading a short segment of text, a sentence or a phrase, and then ask your child to echo back what they've just heard that you say. As your child's reading skill increases, you can choose to alternate who leads the reading and who leads the echoing. Okay, again, just as we did earlier, we're going to pause the video for 10 minutes so that you can work in your small groups to talk about the echoing technique, how you can use it at home, and answer the corresponding questions from your packet. The next technique that we're going to talk about is how you can use your computer at home with your child to practice and reinforce their writing skills. Most children are naturally curious about computers and it's something that they want to try. Computers are also something that's commonly in preschool classrooms and kindergarten classrooms. So in addition to helping with their writing skills, it's also going to help them build those technology skills. A recommendation is just to set up your computer or set up your laptop at home and ask your child to find different letters, ask them to write their names, even maybe put together a little short story. When you're done, print it off so they can have it for themselves or just show other people, and then just use that as they develop their skills to continue to type more words and more text. So now that we've talked about how you can use your computer at home to help your child build their literacy skills, we're going to pause the video so that you can work in your small groups and answer the questions from your packet. The last technique that we're going to talk about is print references methodology. And print references is physically pointing out obvious things, such as that the dog starts with the letter D, or to show that you're reading from left to right during reading, and this makes a huge difference in how well kids learn to read. And studies have been done to show that untrained teachers use print references about 8.5 times during a reading session, compared to trained teachers who do it about 36 times. And as parents, we only do it about once. So this is something that we can really incorporate when we're reading with our child. Print references not only improves a child's ability to read and spell, but it can also help with their reading comprehension. Okay, we're going to pause the workshop for the final time for small group discussion so that you can discuss print reference methodology and how you could incorporate this with your child at home. Now that we've gone through the 4 key areas for literacy readiness, we're going to talk about 10 ways that you can help your child at home. First, read aloud to your child every day. Again, about 20 minutes per day is optimal. And pick out books that show enthusiasm. They're things that your child is excited to hear about. Make sure your child sees you reading and letting them know that reading is important to you as well. Always have books available around the house. Having a bookcase full of books, having them, throughout the house where they can grab them and pick them up and take a look at them. Make it a habit to take your child to the library, get them a library card and go with them, make it a weekly trip to go and let them pick out books. Teach your child to recognize their name so that when they see their name, even outside the home, when they see it at school, they see it on other books, they can recognize their name. And use TV responsibly. Limit the amount of shows that they watch and choose shows that relate to books. Watch TV together so that you can talk about what your child is seeing. Give your child paper and crayons and let them illustrate a letter to a grandparent or let them write out a story and read it to you. Help your child understand the role of print in the world around them. Point out signs and different words when you're in the store, when you're shopping, just going about your normal day. Expand your child's use of language by repeating their responses and elaborating on them. And if you have a computer at home, as we talked about, use it to help teach your child how to type their name and write words. Okay, now that we're almost to the end of the workshop, let's take out the readiness evaluation that we started at the beginning of the workshop. And we're going to list 3 simple, fun strategies that you can utilize with your child to encourage their literacy skills, and how you can use the other techniques that we learned tonight at home with your child. Thanks again for attending the Literacy Readiness Workshop. If you have any final remarks or questions, please direct those to your workshop facilitator. We ask that you complete the workshop evaluation to give us feedback on your thoughts and experience tonight.